Hey, what's up, guys? So I had a conversation this morning with a gentleman that I met recently, and we talked over coffee. He told me his story from the very beginning up until now. He's been in the Philippines for a few months. There were so many reminders in his story that I want to share with you guys about the pitfalls, the dangers of the Philippines. But when you figure things out and you get your head on straight and you have the right mindset here, how amazing the pros are in the Philippines, how significant they are, and most importantly, the pros of the Philippines connect so well with being a guy. What makes a guy happy? What brings balance, fulfillment? The pros here are like meant for men. And that's what came out in this conversation that I really want to share with you guys. So before I get into his story, guys, I just want to give a shout out to the partner of this video, Christian Filipina. As you know, I do one partnership video with them per month. And this time, I really want to mention this, guys. The dating opportunities here are so different than back home, and they're so much more fulfilling. You know, you're noticed here so much more, and you feel valued here so much more. These are the key things, and these are the things that make the Philippines stand out. And if you're looking to get married and settle down, and you really are looking for someone that's different than, a Western-style woman, the Philippines stands out as one of the few countries in the world where you can meet someone English speaking and get that fulfillment, where you're in more of a traditional type dynamic of a relationship. And I'm telling you guys, feeling the warmth and affection and the way that you're treated and the way that you're valued, all these things, the happiness that you can get from the dating and relationship experiences here, it's so worth it for that. And back to the partner of this video, Christian Filipina. Their whole focus is matching genuine people together for a genuine relationship. I know a ton of people that met their partners on Christian Filipina. I met the person that I am focused on right now from Christian Filipina. If you're considering doing the online route to meet someone, I think it's worth checking out. Link is in the description, guys. No obligation, of course, whatsoever. And if you end up giving it a go, guys, I wish you good luck. I hope you meet someone amazing. All right, let's get to the story. So I really wanted to mention all those things about dating and relationships here in the Philippines, because it's a big part of the theme that came out of this conversation this morning. How this guy went through the journey of falling into the major pitfall to coming out on top and eventually finding someone that is blowing his mind, essentially, and bringing out a level of happiness and fulfillment that he hasn't felt in a very long time. So this guy is 70 years old from the United States, and he's the guy that came here not because of the money. He is financially very stable. In fact, he was retired, doing very well, had everything that he needed in the US, except the fulfillment, except he was feeling lonely, except he was feeling invisible in terms of dating and trying to find a partner. And those that he was meeting and dating, he just didn't meet anyone that he felt any connection with, any excitement with. There was just a feeling of hopelessness when it came to that. On top of that, he also felt alone when it came to just general social life. Friends, fulfilling, meaningful time spent with friends. He said he knew a lot of people, he had family and all of these things, except everyone was doing their own thing. Everyone lives in their own bubble. The energy, in Western countries right now is very different. The topics that come up, the things that people think about are often toxic. We can all relate to that for different things. Now, coming to the Philippines, everything changed. Now, unfortunately, before he got to the point where he is now, where all of those things are completely flipped upside down, he did go through a period of time that was pretty bad, quite bad, actually. And it was a learning lesson for him, and it'll be a learning lesson for some of you guys. When you're feeling lonely, and as you get older, and you have that final, hopefully decent length chapter in your life to live and have some good times, you feel a little bit more desperation to try and make that happen, right? So when you dip your toes into coming to the Philippines, particularly with trying to meet someone to fulfill that emptiness that you have when it comes to having a companion, you're pretty vulnerable. This happens a lot. And this does happen more often with older guys because of these reasons. And he is an example of that. He is very well aware of what he did wrong. He's well aware that he ignored red flags. So he meets a girl while living in the US. He chatted with a few and he met someone that he felt he really connected with. And for one, when you are lonely like that and you have a little bit of desperation and you meet someone that you connect with and she's younger than he's 70. So I don't know if he was dating girls in their 50s or 60s at best. If you meet someone, he said they were all in their 30s and some of them were in their upper 20s. He was like, this is unbelievable. So meeting this girl, he felt like, I got to do everything I can to keep this girl. This is like unbelievable. I can't believe that I have this girl interested in me. Little did he know, there's a lot of options here. You don't have to feel that way. So he kind of gets locked in with this girl. She starts planting the seeds of hardship. And over the course of time, and the more he got to a point where he's like, this is it, this is going to work, I'm going to be with her forever, the big ticket item popped up, and it was building a house. It was a lot of money. That was a lot. And then eventually was like, okay, I got everything sorted out. I'm coming out there to meet you, and we're going to spend some time around the property, meet your family, and start our life together. And they didn't even meet. He was basically played right up until the end. He arrives in Manila. She's not there. She didn't even show up and can't get a hold of her. There was nothing he can do about it. And so devastated emotionally, devastated for a big loss financially. But over the few months that he's been here, he's come a long way, and he's come a long way quick. And the biggest thing, these are some of the big takeaways for this, guys. He met some foreigners early on when he arrived. And it started with him sort of, sharing his experience and meeting a couple of others that had some similar experiences. Well, next thing you know, that part of his life took off right away. And that's the part that helped him recover very quickly, because he had people that could relate to what he went through. He had people that he could relate to in terms of what motivated him to come over here and change his life, to find fulfillment. And he met people that had a lot of success stories and learning lessons that, they were able to share with him about how good their life is, and about how they found someone amazing, and how they're enjoying not just the dating, but just the lifestyle. And for many guys, the financial element and the freedom, the financial freedom, all of these things started taking over the conversation, and a feeling of optimism and a feeling of hope that, okay, this can actually work. It's just, I need to be in the right headspace. I just need to take the right steps to meeting someone. As for his relationship that he's in right now, he's happier than ever. He feels younger than he's ever felt. He says he's doing things that he never thought he would do unless he was 20 years younger. He's traveling with his Filipina girlfriend. He just got back from Sikihor, where he rented a scooter and adventuring around. He never thought he would be doing these things at 70 years old, but he is absolutely loving his life. Some key takeaways as far as the Filipina that he's with, things to think about, the differences between, the type of Filipinas that can send you down the wrong path, and this particular Filipina that he's with. Never any pressure for money, never any even subtle hardship, nothing like that. It has never come up. In fact, she does a lot of things to help him save money, in terms of how much things should cost, in terms of recommending staying in so she can cook dinner. And then the list goes on for all these little subtle things. But let me make this point clear, guys. Our intuition tells us a lot more than you realize. And most guys that go down the wrong path with a Filipina, they can look back and say, the red flags were clear. They were there. They were very obvious. But when you want something so bad and you're not in the right state of mind, that's when you make poor decisions. The hardest thing for most guys, once you figure out how to pivot away from the bad ones, is just finding compatibility. It's just finding someone that you feel, that's the one that I really want to focus on and settle down with. And everyone's approach is different with that, but feeling like you have options and feeling like you don't have to rush is a really good thing. Thankfully for this gentleman, he met someone relatively quickly after that terrible thing that he went through. And the last couple months with her, he said, has just been fantastic. So the main things, guys, for us simple creatures that we are, feeling valued by women, huge as far as feeling good about ourselves. Having options, not only feeling valued from women and feeling desired by women, but by women that we're not used to being desired by, except for when we were, 10, 20 years younger. Or more, right? So to have opportunities to have some meaningful connections with women that are more attractive, that are more youthful, what that does for a guy, whether you agree with age gap or not, every guy will tell you it makes them feel younger. It makes them feel better. It makes them feel some of their aches and pains go away. Their loneliness and some of that unhappiness, that definitely goes away. It doesn't take much. Even if you're not in a serious long-term relationship, just the feeling, the knowledge that you're in a place that you're desired more and you have opportunities, that alone will boost you up, tenfold as far as the feeling that you have and the optimism you have. That's why the pros in the Philippines connect so well with men. And that's why men often feel so fulfilled here in the Philippines. Buddies, we have valued by women. We also come to a place where there's a sense of freedom and a sense of adventure. That's it for this one, guys. I appreciate you watching. I hope you got some inspiration from that one. I hope you can learn a little bit of what he went through to avoid the pitfall that he fell into if you're feeling like you're in a similar state as far as feeling a bit, down or lonely or vulnerable, because those kind of things can happen easier than you realize falling into those traps. So appreciate it. There's a great life here waiting for you guys. So take your time, be patient with everything you do, and take care. Thanks for watching. Bye.